Good morning and welcome to this beautiful sunny cool day here in Ireland. Today I've decided to share with you what I've been doing the last few weeks. I haven't posted up a video for a while simply because life has been busy and it's been most enjoyable. I was very lucky last weekend to head off to the RDS in Dublin with my friend Pauline, and we visited the different stalls at the exhibition. It was the what did I say it was called? The Mind and Body exhibition, and there was so much at it. It was wonderful, and of course it covers everything, sort of from tarot to crystals to different practices such as yoga, aura reading, different types of healings. It was just a day well spent, and it was nice to be able to share it with somebody and just head off and have good company and a good laugh. Now, did I spend any money when I was there? Yes, I did. Naturally, I tend to, wherever I go, I tend to think, I need a new tarot deck. But do I always need a new tarot deck? No, but now and again I succumb. But it wasn't just tarot. Pauline picked us up each a lovely little angel. I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see it. There she is there. The little angel sits on my lamp, as you can see, and watches over everything that goes on here at this table. I fell in love with this pendulum and added a pendulum to my already hefty pendulum collection. I will need to get one of those lovely stands, you know, those nice round stands that you can hang them on. I don't even know if you can get them or if they're just sold to retailers as a display stand. I'll have to look into that. And I also picked up a book. Now, this book I was very pleased to see. It is a book that has been put together by Sasha Graham. It's a collection of information of the tarot experience. Okay. Now, I had seen this book in the dim and distant past, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that at some point. So when I turned up at the exhibition and I saw this book, and I saw that it was one of the original ones when it first came out on Kickstarter, and the price, I thought, I can get that, and I was really delighted because it was totally unopened. It had never been opened, and it came with all the you know, the different goals that you get with Kickstarters. So what was included was this artwork, and the artwork is by Eric C. Dunn, who did the artwork for the Tarot Apocalypsis. I think he also did the Tarot Illuminati artwork as well. So you can see that there, and this is the artwork of some of the cards in that deck. So this is the Fool. Then we have the Emperor. Then we have our wheel. It's not in the Tarot Apocalypses, it's not called the Wheel of Fortune, it's just the wheel. Then we have Temperance. And Temperance is fairly different to what we're used to, isn't it? Yet it's still beautiful and peaceful. Everything's flowing just nicely. We have the Moon. You can see the Moon. You know, at first, when you first quickly glance at it, you think, well, where is the Moon? And the Moon is here in the background. You can see the Moon there. It's almost transparent. It's beautiful. And finally, we have the Judgment card. Isn't that a beautiful Judgment card? It's really sort of, here you've got worrying and then peace. It's just as all sort of issues are lifted. It's lovely. So this set of the artwork by Eric C. Dunn came in this little pouch, and that was inside the book, and just wrapped up in the plastic now. What else came with it as one of the stretch goals was this tarot pouch. There you go, the tarot experience. And we have our High Priestess sitting there. It's lovely. So I have a deck that stays in that. I'll show you that deck in a minute. Now this book, The Tarot Experience, really covers many, many aspects when it comes to tarot. And there's one section in it that I was really pleased to see, and that is a section where they cover tarot for writers. And as you know, that's one of the projects for this winter. I have already recorded the first one, so that will be being uploaded shortly too. So the authors that have contributed to this whole compilation are Giordano Berti, Tally Goodwin, Sasha Graham, Marcus Katz, Mark Elroy, Riccardo Minetti and Barbara Moore. We have a lovely piece written about Sasha Graham, and there's one quote that she started off with which I thought was lovely. Is tarot is life, magic is alive, and signs are everywhere if you know how to look. And I thought, well, that is so very true. So in here, in the very first chapter, which is personal practice, there's writing and tarot, and that really does fit hand in glove with the work that we're doing with the Corinne Kenner book, which is writing tarot for writers. So this goes, you've got personal practice, the nuts and bolts of tarot, reading variations, past and future, fresh techniques, the art of spreads, reading for others, big questions, thematic meanings, and a bonus section. It's all set out really brilliantly. It's full colour. It's beautiful. It's an absolute stunner of a book, and one that I think is perfect for a tarot library. There are 2 other books that go with this, which I have since found online. And yes, this book is still available. I found it on Amazon. So that's available, as are the 2 other books that accompany this, and I'm going to be adding them to my collection too. Did I buy a tarot deck? Yes, I did. And it's one that I don't have in my collection. Okay, it's an RWS, but it's a transparent tarot deck. It's the Universal Transparent Tarot. And it's going to be something that's quite interesting, because it's a whole different sort of way of reading. Okay, our meanings are going to, sort of be the same with, whatever it is we get from it. But what I like about it is the images are small, okay, and they're dotted about the place in different areas of the cards, and you sort of stack them up, and you can see, I'll just take a handful here. I'm not going to go through the entire deck, but just to show you how what I mean when I say they're sort of stacked up. Let's see if we've got one with a picture in the front. Hi, there we go. They're sort of, you've got the majors in the top left corner, then the minors are scattered around, and I haven't actually read through the little white book yet, so I'm hoping that gives me a more detailed advice as to how to use them. So if we're building up a story, they sort of fit together, and we can sort of see how does, let's have a look, let's say, how does the 6 of Swords underpin the Hierophant? Well, if we look at that there, our Hierophant, maybe it's we need to move to calmer times, and how are we going to do that? By journeying inwards and looking at what it is that's causing stormy waters, and that this moving to calmer waters is a metaphorical moving, because it's moving from one mindset or one way of, from one method of viewing a situation to another, stepping back and looking inwards and seeing how can we address whatever it is that troubles us. So that's the sort of thing that I'm assuming how this works, because like I say, I haven't actually read with these, and I haven't really sat down and read how they work. So far, we might be moving on. I've taken that as our centre point. But how are we going to move on? By looking inwards, but also by sowing seeds of new ideas, you know, and trying to get things to blossom and grow for ourselves, that, you know, that things are good. And then let's see if we've got anything else that we can add to the mix. Yes, we've got something here, I think. Let's have a look. Here we've got our Seven of Cups. And, you know, so again, when we're doing this introspection and knowing that we've got to, say, move from sort of one issue to another, or from something that's causing disharmony to something that's causing peace, that we must plant our own seeds for growth, but we're also going to do it through choices we make. So that is just an example as to how I feel that this is going to be used to read. Now we have a background card here, so whether that goes in the background here and we're building on it, I don't know. There's another card in here that also has me, I've only just, like I say, just glanced at it. See if I can just grab my hand at it now. And it's just basically 2 dots. So I'm not quite sure what that's for. Here we go. That's quite different. And so I'm going to work out, you know, we'll read what that's for. So that is the transparent tarot. It's very different. It's quirky, all right. And it's going to be interesting to see, is it something that will become something that I will use on a regular basis, or is it something that I'll just take out for certain occasions? But also another way of looking at it, you know, if you're travelling and things and you want to take a tarot deck with you and you haven't got space, it's great, you can just build them up one on one. The only thing I think it could be a bit limiting, as it's only going to get so far that you can see through the cards, you know, and they shuffle beautifully. You'd think that they would be very slippy being plastic, but they're not. They're actually very easy to control. So yes, the transparent tarot. So those were my my acquisitions at the Mind and Body Experience. That was it, at the Mind Body Experience in the RDS. This is the little white book that comes with it, and yes, it does. There is a little bit more in this little white book than usual, because it does go through just a couple of pages there on how it works. I think I might have to look up a YouTube video, see if anybody else has done a YouTube on that, because that's not really quite clear for me. I sort of need it spelling out with coloured crayons at times. Oh, so that's that, and that lives in my tarot experience tarot bag. I think it's actually quite an apt bag for this deck. So that was the RDS, and then I've actually got back to chipping away at what I'm writing again through the encouragement of this winter project. Like I say, I've recorded one section, the first section, so that's going to be going up shortly. And then in the post yesterday arrived Lucid Daydreams, and this is another deck by Patrick Valenza, the Garden of Lucid Daydreams Oracle deck. Okay, and it's a small deck if we were to compare it to a tarot size, for instance. It's slightly big, you see you've got it, it's quite small. Easy to handle, nice. It's sort of sizes in between the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle and the deluxe size. So, am I dreaming? And what they all, you read them, so they're sort of sideways on, a little bit like the Oracle of Black Enchantment. And again, this same sort of art style that is so unique to Patrick Valenza. This reminds me of a song, I think it was McFly in the early 2000s. Sorry, my notifications came on. I thought I had the sound turned off. But you know, you sometimes look at these and you think, well, how can you read with those? What's binding you? What's stopping you moving forward? Why have you become stuck? That sort of indicating, yes, there's growth, but growth is happening around these legs and feet because somebody has stood still and they're stagnating and they're taking root and they need to move, otherwise life is just going to pass them by. You know, don't let your dreams stop you from, you know, don't let anybody stop you and your dreams from taking off and flying. You know, you can just pick up so much from these, and you think, well, how can anybody pick up anything from that? I must admit that was my first sort of attitude when I first bought the my tarot deck, and I thought to myself, you know, my deviant moon, and I thought, why was I drawn to this? And then the penny just dropped, and I have been enjoying Patrick Valenza's creations ever since. Yes, they're obscure. Yes, some of them can be like, oh my goodness, you know, and you think to yourself, wow. But then sometimes the obscurity of them pricks something in your mind and your intuition. You think, I know exactly what that means for me, you know. So once again, we have this creativity from Patrick to add to our collection of divinatory paraphernalia. I'm not stopping talking about each of the cards. Oh my goodness, because I'm just thinking, if I do, I'll never get through, and you'll be sitting here for forever and a day. But once I've sat with these and actually gone through them properly and looked at them properly, I will sit and demonstrate how I read with these with you. I'll share that with you. There we go. And a little, the High Priestess card from one of his decks was sent as a little gift. So that will sit on my desk. Oh, the backs of the Lucid Daydreams. It's this nice purple, one of my favourite colours, I might add. So yes, the Lucid Daydreams was sort of on my will I, won't I sort of list for a while. And then I decided to pull the trigger and say, yep, I think so. And yes, it's my Patrick Valenza cards collection's growing, and growing in a nice way. And so that's it. What am I reading at the moment? I'm currently 2/3 of the way through the second book by Caroline O'Donoghue, and The Gifts That Bind Us. If you recall, the first book was this one here, and it was Our Hidden Gifts. This one, when I have finished this second one, I'll sit down and actually do a full and proper review of each of them. I know I have talked about this a couple of times, but since I've finished it and gone on to read the second book, I'm actually wishing there's a third, so that'll give you an idea as to what I think about them. So I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope your day goes on to be a good one and a great weekend. I'm hoping to get my video of Tarot for Writers up over the weekend, and then I'm going to be having a little break for a little while. Hubby and I are just taking time out, so I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Do take care, have a lovely time whatever you are doing, and remember, stay positive and see the good in as much as you can every day. Bye now.